And tonight, questions are emerging now over a possible breach of parliamentary immunities as some armed men believed to be personnel of the national security in the early hours of today stormed the private residence of Asin South Member of Parliament Reverend Ntim Fordjour following his recent clashes with government communications minister over the two suspicious flights which recently touched down at the Kotoka International Airport, which Ntim Fordjour believes could be may have been used as a transit point for trafficking of some drugs into the country to some Spanish island called Gran Canaria. All of this, while it is happening as well, we know that there are separate developments of the Attorney General also failing to enter appearance in court today as another MP heads to the Apex Court challenging President John Dramani Mahama's approach in initiating dismissal proceedings of the Chief Justice. All of this has been happening in the last few hours, prompting a number of questions. And, of course, the question especially going to the majority side of the House as to whether or not they're taking notice of all of these developments and what their position will be, as the NPP is also now raising further questions. We'll get into all of that. But this is up front with me, Blessed Ogan. Of course, you see on the screens there excerpts of what may have transpired in court. We'll get into all of that. But I want us to start off by talking about those I have in studio. Roxanne Nelson Dapiamapo is the majority whip. He is also member of parliament for the South Dine constituency. Thank you so much, Honourable, for joining us. And also, Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, moving just right away from the private residence of Reverend Ntim Fordjour. So it's a good time to have your perspective, because you've been there, so you'd be able to inform the majority whip as to what happened. Perhaps we'll hear his take on that. But Haruna, let me start off with you, because we've seen an influx. I mean, in just the last few hours, an influx of rank and file of the NPP moving into Reverend Ntim Fordjour's house. This was a simple arrest. Why were you not open to the idea of just having, you know, the national security do its job, and then later on you could perhaps issue a statement or pay him a visit if you'd have to sleep at the NIV today?
Blessed, thank you very much. I would like to say good evening to your cherished viewers, and good evening to Majority Chief Whip. This evening, on Sunday, I passed through his constituency from the northern part of the country to Accra. Yes, I'm just coming from Honourable Reverend Ntim Fordjour's house. This morning, we got messages of the national security going to his house to arrest him. We all know that he's a member of parliament. He's the ranking member on Defence and Interior. He has brought up matters that has something to do with the people of Ghana, and also has questionable issues with regards to the state of the security of this country, more especially at our borders at the airport. Knowing that he's a member of parliament, he has immunities, that he's been guided. If a member of parliament can be treated this way, what about we, the ordinary citizens of Ghana, such as leadership of political parties? If a member of parliament is treated that way, then it is very questionable. And we have always said that Reverend Ntim Fordjour is a member of our party. He's a good citizen of this country. He's law-abiding. He can provide information, and that is why security agencies in this country are being employed when informations are given, whether in full or in part. It is left with the security agencies to make sure that investigations
Has this not been the center of the problem, isn't it? The fact that he feels he's a member of parliament and hiding under, you know, the cloth of being, you know, having some immunity under the Constitution, when indeed he's also, on the other hand, a citizen of the Republic and must be, quote and unquote, responsible with his utterances. Till date, the MP has not provided a single evidence backing his claims. You agree?
Hey, so, Blessed, I don't know which evidence you're talking about. Was there an arrest of the 350 million cocaine issue in Cape Coast or not?
The president has spoken about it. You heard about it.
Was there an arrest or not? Yeah. There was an arrest. So once there was an arrest and he brought it up, it is enough.
But evidence. That's public knowledge.
Second, yes, the 150, was there arrest or not? There was. The air flights that he's talking about, the Air Met flight N8 2:03 a.m. They did come to Ghana or not on the set date. It came. The Kavok and Antonov AN 12.
Another point is
they did come to Ghana or not.
It will not be a challenge if flights always come to Ghana. You always have flights coming into the country. So you know where the problem is. The problem is about the illicit drugs, and that claim he has not substantiated.
The point is that the flight has come. Drug issues have come up. Cocaine issues have come up. We all know that the place that these planes are coming from are questionable when it comes to money laundering. Okay? It's left with the security agencies at the airport to speak to us.
There is evidence pointing out that, for instance, in fact, and I just need to point you out to that, the EU, for instance, blacklisted Ghana as one of the money laundering zones somewhere late last year or last year.
No, I don't think so.
Yet we still had flights coming into this country and out of the country.
I don't think so.
It was the case because I covered those stories. Yet flights came into this country. So you know that when an MP makes a claim that there is cocaine that was trafficked through an airport, he needs to substantiate that.
I am telling you that he has provided enough evidence, and that is why the security agencies in our country, we have the CID, we have the BNI, we have the NACOP at the airport. When flight lands, they have the security measures that they take. These bodies refuse to speak to us.
NACOC says they've done their checks.
Just yesterday, when the matter had started, they were talking about it.
Condoning impunity on the part of
Which impunity? Which impunity?
Why would an MP make a claim and not substantiate it?
Which one? The MP has gone ahead, even went on a flyaway.
Has Ntim Fordjour shown you, as leaders of the NPP, any video footage or perhaps a picture of this parcel of cocaine that he's talking about?
My brother, the point is that he has raised the alarm. He has provided some information on that. People are paid from public coffers to do investigation. And Ntim Fordjour, as a good citizen, has done so. What is questionable here is that other members of parliament in the previous past had made allegations. They were not picked up in Rambo style,
which MP
just as it's been done. When there was the issue of Sasu, was he picked up as in such a Rambo style? He was, honorable member is here. Two MPs that we are told from our minority side, that they were being questioned in Parliament, in the precinct of Parliament, not sent with people masked to go and intimidate. No, that is not the state.
Intimidation?
But you didn't see them, the way they were masked and the way they entered with guns. It doesn't
the president posted on Facebook asking the MP to, cooperate with the security agencies. Till date, as leadership of the NPP, are you able to establish if it's indeed provided the evidence, at least if it doesn't want to do that public? Has it provided the evidence
Majority
to
Chief Whip is here,
to the Ghana Police Service or any other responsible agent?
Majority Chief Whip is here. He made a request for a joint briefing. You must note that he's the ranking member on defense and defense and security. So he made a request for a joint briefing.
My question is, I'm asking if the evidence he says, because he says he has intelligence.
He has been providing a lot of information out there since it broke up.
Have you seen the picture of the cocaine he's talking about, or a video of it?
I am telling you that, have they arrested cocaine or not?
But that's not the cocaine he's talking about. He's talking about our airport.
He said there could be a reason of these flights who have come to stay in Ghana that could be related to those particular instances. So if the security agencies are minded, they would do investigation and provide the good people of Ghana the information, but not to allow evidence. I'm not telling you he doesn't have the evidence. He's saying that he needs joint briefing in Parliament.
But I mean, Ntim Fordjour is not, from my last check, chair of the Regional Security Council. He's not chair of the National Security Council. In what capacity is he asking for security briefings?
In his capacity as member of Parliament,
really?
He can make a request. He did not ask them to come. He made a request, and the request was turned down. Did he bend the sea? No. He made a request. It is his right to make a request, and the request is either accepted or rejected. Right? So if that request was accepted, and these briefings were done, and then the security agencies at the entry point or at the airport had taken the time to do a thorough investigation and report, it could have countered what he said. It was left onto government, and government communication was doing more of defense. And that was where the question was. Government was not briefing us, but government was doing defense. And then the information that was churned out by the government communication started to contradict and even were more questionable. And that is where everybody got alarmed.
Majority, where do you feel all of these challenges are coming from? Because here's a colleague member of parliament. He says intelligence is available. Do a briefing at the committee level, so I supply the details I have. Yet, you're using the numbers to intimidate him, isn't it?
He went a propaganda spree, a matter that he felt strongly about, and got eggs in his face. Because you see, I made a point that when he and I met on some other media platform, I told him if he wants to do what Okudje does best, he should do it well. Look, as the ranking member, he could have asked for the manifest. Aircrafts have what we call routing. So that if you're making an allegation of an aircraft that's not supposed to land in Ghana, but landed in Ghana, ask for the routing. So if the allegation is that an aircraft lifted off the tarmac in Las Palmas, the maritime neighbor is Morocco. So it will either land in Rabat or Casablanca. Then it took off from Rabat or Casablanca into Accra. That's your beef. And you saw, that routing appear odd. There are questions you ask and answers will be provided.
So he has the right to ask the question?
Yes, but he hasn't.
So why are you not answering the question as the NDC?
We have answered those questions. We have said the fact that an aircraft lifted off the shores of Las Palmas and did a transit in Rabat, in Casablanca, or Rabat or Casablanca in Morocco, and came to Accra, the reasons were that they were in crisis. So they landed in Accra for some maintenance and went away. Ntim Fordjour won't have it. Now, he's gone further to say that they should produce CCTV camera. Do you know how the airport works? I told him that if he has some understanding in the airline industry, he wouldn't say the kinds of things he has said. For instance, there's no CCTV camera on the tarmacs. The tarmacs are quite far away from where the CCTV cameras are positioned. The CCTV cameras check security arrangements and movements along the structural buildings, but on the tarmac, no. So what is available is the technicians who went to work on the aircraft. You saw the damaged wheel under the aircraft being replaced, assessment being done.
And these are only videos from the government side. We need to put that on record.
But who provide?
We don't have the benefit of the full video. You agree? So I just want us to understand that. Yeah.
But who provides this video? No private person.
Yeah, but it's from the government. So if you had that video, why not the entire video?
Hold on. Yeah. You are because of course we are making allegations against government. So government went further to say the technicians who worked on this matter. Where is the evidence? They produced the evidence. You say, no, it is staged. Now, the state is saying, come and assist state institutions. NACOC, CID, National Intelligence. Oh, you say you won't do it. And yet, you have taken an intransigent position. That is what I'm telling you. That.
Is that the best description, perhaps, of what's happening now?
But if it is, hold on.
He asked for briefings at the committee level. You could have granted that easily.
What?
Because you have all of these information, yet you haven't provided that.
No.
You know, at the committee level. Yeah, right.
You've asked the question, so I know. Let me answer you. I'm providing answers, reasonable answers. The NACOCs, the National Commission on Narcotics Control Commission has specific rules at the airport. The National Intelligence Bureau, they have specific rules at the airport. The airport itself, the owners, the aviation security, they have their specific rule. Ghana Police Service, they have their specific rule. Then, of course, the national apparatus also have their specific rules. So the president says, if you are so concerned about this matter, whatever intelligence you think you have. In any case, there's nothing like intelligence when an aircraft lands in our jurisdiction. It's a matter of public record. When an aircraft enters our airspace, it's a matter of public record. When they land, it's a matter of public record. When they take off, because the National Signals Bureau and the tower at the airport, they have all the controls before you can land and take off. So all these matters are documented. Because whenever there is an accident involving an aircraft, these are protocols that will be followed.
Right.
Or it will be checked whether these protocols were followed. So anything about an aircraft is such a serious matter. It cannot be concealed.
Don't you feel that you're making Ntim Fordjour's point? And let me just come to that, why I'm saying that. Particularly when you say... I'll allow you to make the point.
You have asked the question.
Just land on that.
So the security agencies that he's requesting should come and brief Parliament hadn't done any work. They said they should come and brief Parliament on what? That is why they say there should be an investigation. Go and cooperate with them. You say you won't cooperate with them. Because your cooperation would have formed part of the record that they would have brought to Parliament by way of briefing. Then you would have been sitting in a composite capacity, both as a complainant and as the ranking member. Whatever questions or additional information you think you could give, you could have given it. You haven't done that.
So the House will be briefed eventually?
Not the House, the committee. It is this committee that he was praying the chairman to convene and called about 3 security agencies to come and give a briefing on a matter that they haven't initiated an investigations. You are the complainant. Go and assist with the information you have. You say no. So Parliament cannot conduct the kind of investigations you are looking for. It's the agencies that will do it and bring you a report. You can't sit at a committee in Parliament and conduct the kind of investigations you want the agencies to come and speak to.
So what was national security doing at his home then?
This matter just came to my attention this afternoon. I don't know what the circumstances are. But in any case, if anybody who wants to raise an issue of breach of immunity...
Yeah, because this is an MP.
Which immunity? Parliament, you are on recess. So if you are involved in a crime, the state by all means can approach you.
Are you not picking and choosing?
I'm not picking. No.
The majority leader says, and you've heard him address the press, he says, this is a member of Parliament, write to the Speaker, go through the protocol and invite him officially, because you've just, in the last few days, interrogated some other MPs. Why are you not according the same protocol to this MP?
Let me tell you this. Me, as a member of Parliament, I was arrested. They were in power. They didn't raise the...
Oh, Haruna did that?
In my favor.
In your favor, right.
Sosu was arrested in a gangster manner.
He says that's not the case.
It was the case. Oh. It was the case. That was how come we, the minority, we held a press conference and criticized the government at the time. They didn't see anything wrong with it. Ama Kofi Bua was rushing to Parliament. He was a ranking member to a committee that was seized with a very important matter. He jumped the traffic light. He was arrested by Dan Parry and his voice. They didn't see anything.
You're paying back then, basically.
Sorry, it's not about payback. So I'm saying that the parliamentary immunity. They told us that at the time, that when as a member of Parliament, when you engage in a commission of an offence, infragrante delicto, the parliamentary immunity is breached. In any case, it's not sacrosanct, it's not absolute.
Okay, but before
So this issue of breach of parliamentary immunity doesn't arise.
Really?
And don't let any member of Parliament sit anywhere that his parliamentary immunity is absolute. Okay, is sacrosanct.
Right. Before I bring in Haruna,
I'll be the first to defend it if the circumstances are right. But if the circumstances do not fall squarely within the constitutional provision, don't go and misconduct yourself.
Before I bring in Haruna,
no, don't go and misconduct yourself or go and commit a crime and think that parliamentary immunity will save you.
Before I bring in Haruna, the question as to why in Ntim Fordjour's case, you're making a case for him invariably through the points you've submitted to us. You are telling us now clearly that we cannot obtain a CCTV footage of what may have transpired on the tarmac.
How do you...
Yeah, so if we are not in a position of knowing what may have happened, and there's suspicion of that act,
No.
you clearly believe
No,
that
you heard me say. You heard me say.
But that's what you're telling us. That
But who else should tell you? It's only the government that can give you.
Why do you want us to only solely believe?
But which alternative is Ntim Fordjour rely on? Which alternative? Hearsay. So if you are not willing to listen to what the government is saying, that this is the evidence from the men, the state engineers, who conducted this mechanical repair works and took a video copy. In fact,
so we can raise questions about what government is telling us.
Even the aircraft owners themselves will be interested in taking a video coverage because you need the evidence. Because these are very expensive repairs that are paid for. The number of minutes you spend on our tarmac, we levy you. There's a charge that you pay. So these are justifiable because you have to justify the expense. So if there's a video evidence that exists that you think is fishy, yours is to let the investigation be done. You are not willing and ready to even accept that prima facie. You are discounting it. Where is the alternative that you are relying on? You have provided zero evidence. All you are doing is to do propaganda, is to insist that something happened. We are asking you what happened. You are unable to lay a finger on it. You are supposing. The evidence points to otherwise, but you insist and you are supposing that no, it's rather another thing that happened. What other thing happened?
He cannot tell.
You can't tell.
Okay, Haruna, let me take your thoughts on that. And for your party, you issued a statement supporting the Reverend. In fact, the majority leader's words is that he's not walking alone.
Minority leader.
Oh, sorry.
But we'll soon come back to majority.
Well, I think Roxy would disagree with you on that, clearly. Yeah, he says you never walk alone, which means you're fully in support of whatever it is that he's told us today. Yet you're not, as a party, you're not providing us with any video evidence, pictorial evidence. All we have as of today is what Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has told us. And in fact, he's backed his claims with video evidence. So what else do you want us to believe?
Blessed, you see, when the incident happened and the two flights landed in Ghana, and the information that came from government communication, specifically from Felix, contradicted with what is known in terms of the flight routing. He said the flight came from Luanda, when in fact the flight came from Grand Canaria.
Yeah, but we're talking about two flights here.
I'm saying...
Don't confuse the two when you say outrightly that the facts were not right, because there were, I think, about 3 flights in all involved in this, right? Yeah,
there are 2 and 4, and 2 came.
Precisely.
So
you have to be specific on which one you're saying. Don't just say that the records were not true.
The ambulance, the flight, that is the airmaid.
Right.
One. The one came on the 20th, and then they said it has a tie vest, right? And then another one came on 22nd, right? And the one that came on 22nd, government communication briefed us that it came on 22nd and left on the 24th. And it came from Luanda. It did not come from Grand Canaria.
How is this consequential?
Fly away. If you take, it's consequential because
to the country all the time.
Because the point is that we know it comes into the country all the time.
And you've seen videos of inspections being done inside the craft.
Accuracy is all important. When you speak outside the fact and it doesn't align with the truth, then it becomes questionable. If I say that if I'm going to give a narrative of how I entered here, and I decide to be speaking about different timing or coming from a different destination to this place, then it's questionable.
Yeah, so but it doesn't question the substance of what these aircrafts were transporting.
It questions because what the aircraft...
Just a minute, government has told us what was being transported. Gallons or jerrycans of fuel, I believe.
That is the CAVOC. You are talking about
but you've seen the pictorial and video evidence. Why is the NPP having struggles in simply providing the evidence?
Honorable has made a point here.
Yeah, but you're not answering that question as a political party.
Let me give you this narrative. He said that CCTV cameras doesn't work at the airport.
Ntim Fordjour told us. He says on the tarmac.
On the tarmac,
you
yes.
Won't find that.
So you won't find that.
And
so
obviously,
yes,
obviously,
that it has specific places that
if you've used
works.
the airport before, clearly it's not practical. You can't set up CCTV.
Thank you. So allow me. Let me get to the destination. You understand? Let me get to the destination. Yeah? He said that there are places that CCTV cameras works. It doesn't work on the tarmac, right?
Yeah.
Then we see that government communication is giving us a video footage of maintenance and seeing
an inspection,
a full screw,
well. Yeah.
a full screw.
Yeah.
Even on that basis, inspection is being done,
right?
And video footage is also taken. That is questionable.
How?
Because that is not being done. That's what we are told. It's not being done.
Who told you it's not?
And also,
inspection there?
the picture that was posted,
no
the picture that was posted on his Facebook wall of the havoc was not in Ghana.
I'm asking you the question.
So,
I'm asking you the question.
ask yourself,
who told you?
This is Kotoka.
Who told you, Aruna, that there was no inspection?
If there is inspection,
yeah,
they don't take videos.
My goodness.
They don't take videos.
I mean, how do you know for a fact? You recall the Attorney General.
Do that.
Yeah, just hold on. And I'll just give you an example of recent, happenings. The Attorney General briefed the press and told us that when they raided the home of the former central bank governor, they had recorders on them, clearly. So it's not out of protocol to have national security officials.
But it was not the national security officials that were doing this. That was joint exercise, Haruna. You see, when this exercise happened, we should have been hearing from the aviation authority.
Are you not simply
we should have been hearing
information
and also hearing from NACOP, because these are allegations that has the tendency of affecting the image of the country. And to talk about these particular matters, and also looking at an air flight that is specifically an ambulance.
Yeah, why are you focused on the flight and not the substance? Cocaine is the illegal substance here.
We are focusing on where the flight is coming from.
Let me be more direct now. Have you called your MP and asked him to provide, or perhaps in your own caucus, in your own cabinet, to provide you with video or pictorial evidence as to what may have happened?
You see,
in terms of this substance you're talking about, did you see that?
It is important for all of us to know that there is clear difference between the act of providing information or raising an alarm about a potential criminal activity. And the legal burden of proof of requiring the formal legal process.
Which of them was he doing?
So he's providing information.
Okay, so
he's providing information. And it is not mandatory that when you are providing information, you must accompany all the evidence with the information.
Haruna, I'm asking you a simple question. That an MP comes out to say there was cocaine trafficking somewhere. I have reliable, these were his words, reliable intelligence.
Was there a cocaine traffic or not? Because $350 million worth of
these
cocaine.
are different scenarios.
Where will the cocaine go? Are we going to consume it in Ghana?
So is it your case as the NPP that the cocaine that was busted last week or a week before the incident was what was trafficked out of this country? Is that your argument?
You've forgotten that.
No, is that your argument?
2014.
Is that your argument?
You've forgotten that in 2014.
Let's stick to that.
I am
saying
that
your argument as the
there
NPP?
must be suspicion if flights that is coming from a place that is known for money laundering and such activities, and the flight is taken off from that particular island to Ghana and sits in Ghana for 5 good days, no activity, for another flight to come from that place.
Haruna, you're not
just
answering my question.
No, I'm answering your question.
My question is very direct.
These are suspicious.
How do you relate to a bus, the cocaine bus, to what's happening at the Kotoka International Airport at different separate times?
The point is that there is that suspicion of a flight that is supposed to carry patients, a flight that is supposed to be used for medical supplies or whatever, is coming from a place in an island that is known for money laundering and such activities, and which is coming at a time that we have busted cocaine worth $350 million and 150. Remember in 2014, we had a cocaine issue in this country under the same leader. And today, we have persons who have had these material touch of cocaine issues in terms of
allegations all through,
who are also serving in this government.
Okay,
we need to separate this particular matter
just come in
and get to understand. You don't provide evidence to informations you back clearly at the point of giving
Majority,
information.
what do you have to say about that?
You see, you heard him. these are not matters they say without mischief. That in 2014, there was a cocaine bust under the same leader. That is why we shall arrest Ntim Fordjour today or tomorrow.
You support that?
You see, this attitude of making an allegation against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and he will allow it to go, it won't happen again.
It's been described as intimidation.
Well, intimidation. It's not intimidation. Costing you arrest for you to come and substantiate allegations, because you see, it's also an offense to deceive public officers. They shouldn't forget that. You can be an MP, but when you deceive a public officer, it's also part of our code of offense. So we will arrest you. You will prove the allegation. If you don't prove it, you'll be prosecuted. We want to put that on record. This attitude that there was a 2014 arrest, and you hear the suggestions. Canaries Island is part of Spain. It may be an island, but it is part of Spain. It's not a separate republic. So their suggestion is that either now they say that the cocaine rather left Ghana to Spain, and I thought they said that the cocaine rather left Spain and came to Ghana. That was initially, that was the allegation. But me, where I sit, when there's a crime, by all means, let us look into it. Whether major or minor, it should be thoroughly investigated. But they keep saying there's a suspicion. When you give them evidence, they say, no, there's suspicion. Multitude of suspicions do not constitute proof. But the NPP doesn't know this. They will hap on a suspicion and hap on it and hap on it and hap on it. But it's a journey to nowhere. So this matter will be looked into. By way of ICAO standard, that's the International Civil Aviation Organization, anything that happens at the airport is recorded. Anything. And he sits here and says that where an aircraft is in distress and rings in and makes an emergency landing and maintenance is being done, video coverage is not taken. I don't know.
He says it raises questions, but yeah, look, particularly because of the timing.
Now, even now, your vehicle, when you are maintaining your vehicle, when there's a repair, you can take video coverage. When you are maintaining your vehicle.
And why do you normally do that?
Because either to so that you know how it is done, or you can actually monitor how it is done.
I see. Or probably you want to learn more about your car.
No,
maybe.
Yeah, right. Especially if you are the owner, you are not available. You want your driver, you want to see what's happening.
So suspicion then again?
What suspicion?
Is the ground?
No, he says that it is not.
But that's the same reason why the NPP is acting now. Acting on suspicion.
No, you are also feeding on suspicion. Earlier, they said nothing happened. Then the state produce, when the state does that, they say it shouldn't be the state. Right. I don't know. Narcotic Control Commission, it's not a private entity. Ghana Civil Aviation, it's not a private entity. When the government speaks, they say government don't speak, so the state institutions should speak. The state now says, come and help with investigations. You say you won't go. So they simply have decided that they won't listen, they will go on their tactics.
Wouldn't you rather use a more friendly approach in engaging? I mean, because this is a colleague MP.
Friendly times, what they are doing.
The reason why I'm asking this is because when it goes out, our integrity, the nation's brand is being affected now. Why not call this MP, perhaps through the speaker, the office of the speaker, sit down, jaw with him, and try and extract more information. You seem as a house not to be towing that approach, right? Yes, that's why I'm asking you. Yes.
3 days ago,
yeah,
I facilitated one of the state intelligence agencies to speak to 2 MPs. Oh,
the A+ thing, I believe.
Yes.
Right.
To speak to 2 MPs, and they engage the MPs. That is when you conduct yourself, when you bring yourself under certain ethical standards, ethics. But if you decide to be a politician and you want to do what you think you want to do without having recourse to even parliamentary protocols, that's up to you. So the state will also handle you on those terms.
So you're turning a blind eye to the case of Ntim Fordjour, right?
I'm not. I am saying, me.
But you could speak to him as a brother, because this is an MP.
Ntim and I will speak.
Right.
I have told him, I have admonished him. When I use the word admonish, he says I shouldn't use that. But I have to admonish him. That Ntim, You are the ranking member. You can do better. You can do better. You can file certain requests for certain documents to be provided for you. Based on those documents, you can now articulate the issues. You haven't done that. I've been asking him what is the flight manifest. Till today, he's not been able to provide it. I've been asking him what was the routing of these airlines. You haven't been able to provide it. I've asked him what are the names of the engineers that work on the... These are things you request for. They will be provided. Then when you are speaking to the issues, you can mention names, mention dates. Then you are believable. He has nothing.
So for now, he's not believable.
But do you believe him?
Well, I mean, he's asking questions. He's asking questions.
Unless you also believe in rumors.
Well, we all want the evidence to come out, isn't it?
The questions. Yeah. You are the ranking member. Is he asking you to answer? File the questions at the appropriate quarter and wait for responses before you go to town. You don't even file the question. And you've gone to town. People are asking you questions now. You don't want to respond to questions. You are insisting that the issues you have raised are sacrosanct. But I've made the point that when maintenance is done, evidence of the maintenance is recorded. It can be formally on paper. It can also formally be on video recording. So my brother shouldn't ever say anywhere that where you are maintaining an aircraft and the engineering works are being done, video coverage cannot be taken. Then second,
right.
The suspicions that they keep, that they suspect. The courts have ruled on suspicion in this country. That's a multitude. So many suspicions, if you put them together, they don't constitute any proof. In a very famous case, we call State versus Autry. So they shouldn't go on the tangent of harping on suspicions. For once, they should do the needful. They should go do better.
And that needful, I believe, is having Ntim Fordjour turn himself into the national security for you.
He need not to.
He should be arrested.
But the president, the #1 gentleman of the land, even the fact that the president even responded to him is in itself very, very important. It means the president takes the allegations seriously. So come and collaborate. What do you do? Collaboration simply means come and put a statement on paper.
And tell us officially what.
And tell us officially what you know.
Haruna, when are you doing that?
And launch the security agencies into an investigation.
Haruna, when are you doing that?
You won't give anything. You won't do anything.
Right.
And then you think that it should be a matter. So he's been calling, if they like, come and arrest me, I'm ready to die. Nobody will make a matter out of him.
Haruna, when will you support your MP to simply, and those are footages we've seen earlier today, that I believe that's
and before Haruna comes, he said something very profound.
Yeah, okay, before Haruna comes.
We were blacklisted under the NPP. In fact, in July 14, 2021, we were delisted by the EU. The government issued a statement and said they were happy that we have been blacklisted. Later on, we got blacklisted again.
Right. And that's the story. And that's the story I was pointing to.
That we were never blacklisted.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
a fact.
How were we delisted? How were we delisted? Because we were listed at a point in time.
Yeah, but
and somebody has to work to delist you.
If we're not sticking to the international standards, then it will affect us. It happened.
It was under you.
Yeah, but Haruna
had to delist it in 2021.
But Haruna is still affecting him. So Haruna, my question now is, when will Ntim Fordjour just walk into the offices of the national security and say, okay, well, I don't want to be arrested. Let me save myself the whole drama and provide all the evidence?
Blessed, are you expecting Ntim Fordjour to bring samples of cocaine, that this is the samples of cocaine I found on the flight?
That's not a fair question, is it?
No, are you expecting that?
He says he has evidence, he has intelligence.
So, and I'm asking, are you expecting him to bring samples of cocaine from the flight?
Yeah, but Haruna, you know he's not a drug dealer, excuse my language, but...
Thank you.
Yeah,
so that is why
he has evidence.
That is why when you are providing evidence, when you are providing information, you must provide enough grounds of suspicion.
Yeah, so my question is, if you have whatever the intelligence, whether accurate or not, or whether it lacks pictorial evidence, what is giving that hindrance to Ntim Fordjour to simply walk to the national security or perhaps turn himself in and say, I'm here to officially give my statement?
Look, Ntim Fordjour is ready to cooperate with the security agencies. if they do what is right.
You're obstructing justice as a political party? Is that
yesterday, do you know how his arrest happened? Yesterday, the deputy NACOP, you people interviewed him. He sat on your platform during his discussion on the same platform, dared him and said they will go and arrest him. And today, lo and behold, in his house, they besieged the house, over 20 armed men.
Is there anything wrong with an arrest?
So,
is there anything unlawful about an arrest?
The point is that...
Is there anything...
This is a lawful... This is a lawful... This is a lawful... This is a lawful citizen.
Donko was arrested with over 30...
This is a lawful citizen.
Is there anything unlawful about an arrest?
A reverend, a man of God.
A man of God shouldn't be arrested.
A member of Parliament.
He shouldn't be arrested?
A good citizen.
He shouldn't be arrested?
Who will provide the information, and he has provided enough grounds.
Yeah, so when will he walk to the national security and say, this is the evidence I have after all the press conferences?
Enough ground of suspicion, not enough ground of evidence.
No, but ground of suspicion. In providing information, let's talk about... Blessed, let's get this right. Let's get this right.
Yeah.
When you have information, whether you are a member of Parliament, or you are a whistleblower, or you are any other person,
right,
yours is to make sure that you provide enough grounds, okay, that the information is credible.
Haruna, when will you allow Reverend Ntim Fordjour to walk to national security?
It's not about allowing Reverend Ntim Fordjour.
But you're telling the man not to go to the national security.
Nobody has said he should not go.
What did you tell him today?
We want the right thing to be done. He's ready to provide information when the right things are done. He's been intimidated. The NPP is being intimidated. The minority is being intimidated to stop talking. We will put our eyes, we will nose around anything that happens that endangers the peace and security of this country, that will lead to the blacklisting of this country, that will lead to the bad image of this country. We will expose it. And that is what we are doing. And I'm telling you...
So we should count on the NPP to turn in, your MP?
Definitely. This evidence that is there. But the point is, you see, he has provided the route of the flight. He says that he has not. He has provided. Go to fly away. It is open to everybody.
We're not talking about
you know that too well. But we have gotten it. All the route, all the timing, everything is there.
But we're not talking about the flight. We're talking about the substance here.
How many weeks?
No, but the point how many weeks that the NACOP and what have you is now talking?
Right, okay.
Because we started it, they were quiet. Government communication was misleading us and saying things. And all those things that they were saying was contrived.
All right. So
we needed to raise more, and then it becomes more suspicious.
But will go to the national security eventually, by force or by whichever means. Okay.
The minority and the party will take a decision.
Let's talk about the Chief Justice.
The minority,
a brief one.
The minority,
just a brief one. Yeah. Just them.
Echi Dafomak was a city member of Parliament. Was arrested.
Haruna arrested.
You have
to put down.
Sticker was arrested under us the same traffic offense, not providing information.
Hold on.
Right.
Honorable Sosu was arrested. He was a city member of Parliament.
Right.
Ama Kofi Bua, he was arrested and restrained. He was a member of Parliament. John Jinapo, he was arrested. His house was cordoned off with over 30 armed men. He was a member of Parliament.
But your party people never came out to support you?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Honorable Kwamina Donko was arrested in his house. Over 30 policemen and soldiers cordoned off his area. The city attorney general, he was arrested. 30 armed men went to his house. We were all members of Parliament. They didn't raise breach of immunity in our favor. Suddenly, when the shoe is on the other leg. So you see,
but honorable.
No.
The then honorable Nana Adedankwa Akufo-Addo.
You're saying tables have turned, basically.
The then honorable Nana Adedankwa Akufo-Addo, who wasn't a president by that time, was.
Okay. So
same security arrangements. But these are separate matters. Blessed. Let's separate.
You're supporting the point.
Let's separate it. Let's separate the matter.
I have
the not in the process.
I have the final.
Okay, let me take because it is my case. No, it is my case. I started. So let him. I will garnish it for him.
No, you garnish it. I have the final.
I see.
So don't think that as a member of Parliament. Or as an elected representative of the good people of this country for any of their respective constituencies,
right,
you can engage yourself in conduct that offense Act 20 now or any other penal provision and think that parliamentary immunity will cover you. It will not. It will be perforated. And your conduct will be scrutinized and investigated. We should all take note of this. And Ntim Fordjour has been urged to do the appropriate thing, to do the needful, go and write your statement, and come back home peacefully. And let the
if he comes out to apologize to the nation, would the NDC...
As for the apology, he owes us an apology, and he owes his own congregation, his congregants. He owes them apology.
Oh,
Ntim Fordjour. He's my friend, but he owes them apology.
Okay. So here's what I want us to
separate
do.
the matter.
I want us to... No,
let's separate. No, I just want us to separate. All the arrests he's talking about is not as a result of providing information.
All right.
On matters that are suspicious.
It was about provision of information into some allegation of commission of a crime.
All right. Here's what I want us to do. Because earlier today as well, whilst all of this was happening, the Chief Justice's case was
your own.
In court. We can give you visuals of what transpired earlier today.
Apart from arrest, I told you my house. They demolished my house without recourse to law. I was a member of Parliament.
I never demolished the house.
Gentlemen, let's talk about the Chief Justice now. Because obviously, that case is also running. The former Attorney General was in court today, disappointed about the fact, and there you see on the screens, disappointed about the fact that the Attorney General, the current one, did not enter appearance. There was no hearing at all about whether or not it was right, the approach being used by the President in initiating the removal processes was the best way to go. I'll start off with you, Majority Whip, because you also are a lawyer, so you understand the process that are going on now. But are you taking notice of all of these things? Because it's a colleague MP who still went to court challenging the President's approach. So it's a healthy exercise for us, isn't it? Or you feel it's just an exercise in futility?
No, it's always a healthy exercise when you go to court for one reason or the other. And that's what I've been noted for. So I like it when we don't take to arms. We don't take cudgels, we don't take bows and arrows, we don't take machetes to settle our differences. And I will now add, you don't have to add national security. We have recourse to the law court. And these matters are Article 146 matters. Right. So it's a beaten path. It's a matter that has previously engaged the court, and the court made some clear directions or judicial pronouncements. So I'm struggling to appreciate why they are invoking a similar provision in court, or maybe a different interpretation.
Do you feel it should be withdrawn? Looking at the fact that we've gone at length, the process has gone beyond this.
You see, let me refresh your mind. Opoku Ajumai, Senior Maxwell Opoku Ajumai, he taught me the law of evidence. Very brilliant man. When he was lawyer for some petitioners who petitioned against Charlotte Osai, in the matter that eventually led to a dismissal from the Electoral Commission, similar issues were raised, similar concerns. Charlotte Osei was of the view that before a prima facie determination, she should be permitted to have even access to the petition.
Right.
Maxwell Opoku Ajumai said something profound and said, because the provision at that stage, the Article 46 provision regarding the procedure implies that there should be
a hearing,
confidentiality of the identity of the people involved. So the petition itself, the content should be
kept away
from public view. The identity of the authors of the petition should be kept away. Similar position is not urged on us today. That yes, CJ, as a matter of her rights and the natural justice, deserves to be heard. But they've forgotten that the stage at which the CJ will be heard is a bit upstream.
That's after the committee is set up.
After after the determination of the prima facie.
And then the setup of the
setting of the commission. That is where the CJ will be heard. Now, when the CJ is heard at this stage, will she be heard again by the committee? Or she will repeat herself at the committee level? So they are my colleagues in the law. And the former Attorney General is senior to me in the law. And he's been an Attorney General of this republic. He's been a Deputy Attorney General for 4 years.
Right.
And he's been an Attorney General for 4 years. So for 8 years, He had some majoritarian control at the office of the Attorney General.
Because we are running out of time, but what do you say to this, that in all of this, it depends on the president, because the process could go on, it's in camera, eventually it's the president's call. Will the president ask the Chief Justice? Is that the feeling you also have?
You see, the president has no leeway under the Constitution. It's mandatory. It has to be gone through. So he can't say that he will ignore it. That is why, and let the record also reflect that this is not the first time that a petition has been brought for the removal of the CJ. In Ajaychum versus Attorney General, if you remember, lawyer Bright Akwiti attempted it. That is why it led to the Ajaychum case, where Dateba made some profound observations in that decision. Then Justice Kpega also came against CJ Wood, which also didn't go. But Professor Azar, late last year, came against this very CJ. The president made a determination. The question I want to ask today is that when the President Nana Akufo-Addo, 6th January 2025, this year, made a determination and decided that the petition was unmerited, did she give the CJ the opportunity?
Interesting question. 30 seconds. Do you want to share your view as to whether or not the CJ should go?
I think the CJ should go.
You think she should go?
Yeah, I think the CJ.
Haruna, you share that view as well?
For me, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe in the constitutional processes. The CJ has a way in the Constitution how she should be treated, and I believe that let's allow the processes to go. If there is any merit in it, I think that the law will take its course. But I'm also worried that the Attorney General did not make an appearance there. I don't know whether he's.
They said we're doing training.
No, but I don't know whether I don't know whether he's making preparations to go to.
Did it against me so many times.
Let me just conclude. I don't know whether he's, whether
a lot of my cases you enter appearance. You have asked for extension of time.
I don't know whether he's going to prepare and go to the public court of opinion and enter appearance because he has already been so.
This is what will happen when you have
me as an attorney general. He did it to me.
I say, but
in this case, he decided that he ran his case in the public court.
Is the Deputy NPP Secretary. Grateful for your time. We'll see you all again. It's been UpFront with me, Blessed. We'll see you. Bye-bye.